issue. A lot of people have softeners that were pre-put on their houses. Softening systems, they work for reducing the minerals and softening them up a little bit, but everyone knows that they are really horrible for your plants. Now, plants grown on those are really struggling to make any kind of productivity. In this system, when that water gets cleaned and softened, there's sodium left in the water. That sodium and some of the other minerals come through and pass through the system and get transformed into bioavailable forms of themselves. The sodium that's left in there is actually used in the ceramics as a catalyst to perform hydrogen and oxygen splitting, which is called an ionization process, where hydrogen and oxygen split in the presence of salt and sodium chloride, and split and ionize, putting all of the minerals and the cofactors together and then recombining again into a whole water. I know a lot of people are saying, well, there's all these alkaline ionizing systems out there that you can plug into the wall and make some ion water. Well, what they do is they actually split the water off and give you one side or the other. So half of it's going down the drain like a reverse osmosis system. And then what you're getting has only a certain set of minerals. So what we've done is we've actually taken that out with these new materials and allow that ionization to process with 100% efficiency. And any of these things that are in the water, like the chloride and the sodium, actually become feedstocks for the reaction here, for the transformation of that water into a water we call it grow water, a water that's actually optimized for the growth of plants. And so the media that we use in this, the special bioceramic media, is actually the first media in the world to get approved through our Food and Drug Administration and through our NSF. So we have rating on all this for NSF and Food and Drug Administration, that these things actually work, and they do exactly what we say they work. So we're the first people in the world to get approval on this level.
Yeah. What we're looking at with alkalinity a little bit, I think you guys will, I want to address it because if you're interested in beginning to use the products, this is why it's a multi-part series, is because this is the challenge that we'll all face, is because it's actually getting away from some of the other types of water solution controls, like pH control, right, to make nutrient available, where we're introducing hydrogen to shift the ionic balance of the solution long enough for the nutrients in that solution to be available. We readjust it because doing things traditionally in dead water would be a perfect way to reconnect that term, to making a nutrient solution in dead water is to have to reintroduce the hydrogen to reshift the ionic balance to make it available.
And that's an important point. pH is nothing more than the amount of hydrogen, free hydrogen in the solution. So that is what pH is. The P and the H is hydrogen.
What we'll have to get over as growers, which I'll tell you right now isn't hard because I love not having to mess with my pH. You know what I mean? What I have to get over with growers is understanding that we can have a soilless medium, we can introduce biologicals because they're a part of every process for really thriving success. But this water, it allows you to not have to control it with pH because it's doing the ionic balance because of the infrared technology in there,
and it will naturally,
which is changing that ionization.
And it will naturally balance out the pH. We talk about a pH rise because most high mountain springs have a high pH. That's how they come out of the ground. They come out with extra hydrogen, which gives them that high pH. That high pH and that extra hydrogen give back to the soil microbes, and allow the plants to absorb the extra nutrients and the hydrogen directly, which is a food source that's really an incredible one for plants, but it's not really given play in normal growing. So when you put this specially supercharged ionized water into the soil, it's giving a super growth medium to the beneficials that are out there. And these beneficials don't have to work so hard to get the nutrients to the plant either. Like they build calcium channels, they build nutrient channels that go right into the root itself. With this super ionized oxygen water, the nutrients that are held in the water are more easily transported to the plant from the biology. Even if the biology is not present, the plant will have an easier time bringing those nutrients in. Even if you're doing conventional agriculture and you're using just Peters 2020, you're gonna have a better situation because there's the mobile spring which we designed specifically for the indoor-outdoor farmer. You can roll this thing out, click it in, water your plants, unclick it, roll it over to your other plants, click it, water them,
Give it your go.
roll it over to your animals, water them, roll it back to the house, hook it up, water them. So this is gives people the optimum amount of portability. So that's the mobile spraying.
When we get into water, like we're talking about using products or using water in replacement of products right now. Powder mold is a perfect example, and we used to talk about using, especially as you get into finishing blooms and you don't want to use a sulfur spray, a copper spray,
Right.
Biological spray even. Okay, really the only thing that we said, okay, let's run a high pH so we can change the pH balance of the leaf, wash the powder mildew off, and it doesn't grow back, and fight it off with water. So this is now actually charging that leaf surface, right? Instead of changing the pH balance, it's more like charging the surface of the
Charging
leaf.
the surface and leaving a coating and film that actually has a antifungal capacity or effect. So a lot of people are taking this water, you make your teas with it, you fill your reservoir up, you put your food in, you take this water, put it in your sprayers.
Is that in most all professional solutions now, I guess it's just a convenient, fortunate fact that the most common present solid in hard water is calcium. And it's a convenient, fortunate fact that the most reactive chemical in nutrient solutions is calcium. So you'll rarely find a professional nutrient solution with any, if at all, light amounts of calcium in it. What we have found is that calcium can equal or be at 1/2 and not be toxic. So from 1/2 to equal parts of nitrogen during a vegetative stage. And there's no way that you'll have that much calcium. You'll always be adding more nitrogen just because of the general dynamic of most all plant foods out there. They're not going to have really any calcium, and they're going to hit you with about 5, 6, 7 parts
That's why
of
they
nitrogen.
separate the calcium bag, I figured.
That's totally why they do it. It's super reactive. Yeah. But where we're at is that with this water is probably the last component to being able to get the most out of